Howdy guys. Wanted to take this quick opportunity to kind of refresh, renew my how to square file video. When I shot that, I was brand new to YouTube and made some kind of silly little mistakes. But to start out, last time I was using Steele's triangle file, which work, but I much prefer this file. It's called a double bevel file. This one's made by Pferd. Go order them on eBay. They're less than 20 bucks. They have a triangle file as well, but this one's nice because you can use it as your raker file, as well as touching up your cutters. And so it's kind of like a, could save you space in your wedge pouch. If you're out falling, you don't have to have a flat file and a round file. You could just have this bad boy. I tell you what, if you have only ever experienced cheap files, get a 5 or 10 pack of saw or chainsaw files for 20 bucks or whatever, you're gonna be amazed when you get a good file, what they feel like and how they cut. It's night and day. There's a few things in life that shouldn't be, you shouldn't cut corners on, or you shouldn't try and save money on, and files is one of them. Your life will be a lot nicer with a nice file. And so this is my brand new 440 bling saw build. And so this chain actually was a Stihl RS square ground chain to begin with, but then I used my chain grinder, which I could do a video on that as well, to technically round grind it again, but you could put a square file right back on it. I'll bring you guys in a second, but again, some guys like to go from the top of the cutter down, like so, and then file down. I'm not a fan of this method. I feel like it gives me kind of the heebie-jeebies. You hear that sound? It's like the file's kind of like skipping. Ooh, I hate that. So I'm gonna do it. You want to have some good tension. You could take a wedge and stick it in your chain. Give me 1 second. All right, we're back. So you guys can't see it, now you can. Stick a wedge in. Do it that way so you guys can see. And then I come just like I'm round filing, just like you're gonna have your round file. You'd be doing it this way with the tooth, but now we're gonna take our double bevel file and you're gonna stick that point of that triangle essentially right up under that cutter. So your cutter kind of rests on the top flat part of the file, and the triangle part kind of rides right in the just above the gullet, essentially, right under that top plate. You're gonna want to keep a kind of a 45-degree upward angle. And then you guys come see this. Maybe you can see that. Give me 1 second. I usually take a paint pen and I mark either the first or the last tooth that I'm gonna cut. And I do it to 2 in a row, essentially. Especially when you're rocking a long bar like this. It's just easier if you mark where you start. So I'm gonna go along sharpening just like that. But like I said earlier with the quality of your files, do you guys hear that? It's making a really satisfying sound as I file away here. Oh man, that is wicked. So one of the main differences between round file and square file is when you're cutting wood. Round file, it's the top of the plate, this top corner here, that does the cutting. Whereas with square file, it's actually the side, believe it or not. And so you're kind of transitioning what edge is the most important. But I'm gonna go along and I'm gonna sharpen this first side, and then I'll flip it and I'll bring you guys back and we'll check out some cutters. Except I have not touched this tooth yet. So this is essentially what my grinder makes it look like. I've cut with this chain too. It's not a perfectly sharp chain, but then this is what we get with the square file. Trying to make that so it's, I know it's not super easy to see, but you can see from the top as this file rides in there, and this one isn't even perfect yet, I haven't touched it all the way up, but as this file is riding in there, you can see it gets the top plate as well as this triangle here gets up under the cutter and kind of, it's so hard to see. It looks like garbage on camera, but I promise you that let's see if I can get this. It's so funny because it doesn't look that great, but I tell you, it's sharp. Better example of a really sharp one. That's a little bit better. All right, you see that? My rakers are plenty knocked down, so I'm gonna flip this around and then I'll be right back. All right, guys, as you can see, I went through and I've got all my cutters sharpened. Might go through and just make sure that all my rakers are angled correctly. But besides that, here in a second, I'll head out to the woods and we'll do some cut tests and see how I did. Again, I turned this was a stock square file steel chain that I then numerous times round filed and also used my round chain grinder to sharpen it. And if you watched my video yesterday, it was cutting great, but now I just square filed it and we're gonna see how it does. All right, we'll talk to you guys in a second. behind me when I was cutting, huh? You crazy? Goodness. So check this out, guys. From that square file I just did, it's chucking chips, boy. Tell you what. I'm out here cutting some cookies. Maybe give you guys an idea, so your cookies don't go to waste. I know a lot of guys just burn them, but my girlfriend takes these. I cut them a little thick. She takes these and she sells them as decorations, believe it or not. People pay for them. You go online and you look, and people charge like 50 bucks for one of these rounds. And so, while I'm out here tuning chainsaws, I save a bunch of good, pretty rounds for her. There you go. Little side hustle idea for you guys. But anyway, back to that square file chain. I'll do a cut for you guys. Just so you know, this is a super fat break-in tune. So it's not revving super high, but it's got a decent amount of torque, believe it or not. Cutting on this green alder here. Whew. I want you guys to do me a favor and just listen to the difference. I haven't touched the carb at all. This is literally the difference. I think the ring's just set, or seated, and you can hear it's got a lot more whine to it now. Check this out.